Hey everybody, my name is Brice and I'm the student director here at 514 Church. Thank you for joining us today. I'm joined with some of my close friends and colleagues. That sounds weird. My coworkers. And we're actually going to talk to you today about our internship experience. And I know things have been a little weird this year with the global pandemic and COVID and whatnot. But we are still moving forward with our internship program. It's not in the summer anymore. It'll actually be later in the fall. And regardless, we are super excited. We believe in the next generation of ministry workers. We believe in you guys and young adults. And we want to empower young adults, recent grads, and college-aged kids to really grow personally and to take steps in their faith where they can actually really begin to serve the local church in a brand new way. And so we're excited. But the reason we are joined today is because I wanted you guys to get to hear from some of our different ministry departments and what their interns would do, what they have done with past interns, or maybe what they did as an intern. Jackie interned for us. And so I'm excited. But real quick, why don't you guys go down and just introduce yourself, say a little bit about what you do, your role here. And then we'll get started.
Absolutely. I am Lopez. I shouldn't say that. I'm Lopez. I'm a creative here. I am a graphic designer, and I am head of photography at the church, and I oversee the photography team. So, yeah.
And you're fun.
Thank you.
And bring laughter.
Thank you.
He's famous on TikTok.
And so. I am. Follow me on TikTok, period.
Is it my turn?
Yep. That would make sense.
I am Kaylee. And I'm the children's director, so I oversee our kids ministry and our large group curriculum and all of that really fun stuff. So I get to hang out with kids all the time. It's the best.
And I'm Jackie. I do production here with Ryan. I'm the production assistant, and I was a former intern. So
yeah, you were.
I actually interned here 2 times.
See what happens when you join the internship.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't leave. You're still here.
And I'm just
still
stuck.
here.
I'm here.
You're stuck. Yeah. Well, sweet. Well, I'm excited for everybody to get to hear from you guys individually about what it is like you would have an intern do or what they might do within like a realm of where you work in ministry. But I want to get started with something fun. Because we like to have fun here. We believe in being silly. So we take, we take fun seriously.
Period.
So, all right. So first question, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. If you had to pick a celebrity to be your ideal intern to work for you specifically in your department, who would it be and why?
Zendaya.
I think I already have it.
Hold up.
What did she say?
She said Zendaya.
She went real quick and said Zendaya. We need to hear why, though.
She seems like an all-around hard worker. I feel like she would do anything in any department. She'd be a great worker, and I just love her.
I mean, who doesn't?
Zendaya.
You know,
great. Yeah.
She is.
I feel
great.
that. I get that. That was so quick. You had that answer already.
Zendaya.
It's like the go-to answer for anything. I feel like. What do you want to be when you grow up? Zendaya. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Lopez, you were saying somebody.
I'm probably going to choose Beyonce.
Oh.
For creative, okay.
For creative, because Beyonce is creative.
She is very creative.
She is an actress. She is a songwriter, entertainer. She does it all, pretty much like Zendaya.
Exactly, right.
But no shade to Zendaya, but Beyonce, she's just the full package. I'm looking for a full package. That's what I'm looking for.
pitching. You're like pitching her right now.
Absolutely.
You are.
I'm looking
Beyonce, if you're watching this,
Beyonce.
Absolutely.
come work for Lopez.
Absolutely.
What would you do if you were her boss, though?
If I was Beyonce's boss,
Wouldn't that be like intimidating?
it would be.
You can't discipline her.
Absolutely not. No, that's not going to work. But if I was Beyonce's boss, let me think about that.
I just feel like you could have, like, Beyonce doesn't intern for you. I feel like you would be her intern even though she's our intern. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See, there it is.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same way for Zendaya, too.
Yeah,
Sure.
she'd be the real boss.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, yes.
Welcome to 514 Church, where we have Zendaya and Beyonce as interns.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
they run our church. Ideal world. Okay. Kaylee.
So I would love somebody that would just make me laugh all the time. And
Oh, gosh.
I have 2. Can I have 2?
Well, if I said no, you would say them anyway, so
Oh, well,
go ahead.
I would. Amy Poehler as one of them, because basically
you
we're
are
the
her.
same exact person, and I just think we need more of me. And just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Welcome to 514 Church, where we're also the most humble people you've ever met.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
No, she just brings joy and laughter into every situation. So I just think she would be really awesome. And I actually overheard this from somebody else, but David Dobrik
That's
would be
mine.
amazing.
No, you heard it from me. Okay, so
David
you get
Dobrik.
one. My ideal intern for the student team is David Dobrik, because he could give students Teslas.
Ooh.
He could give me a Tesla.
Ooh.
But honestly, David Dobrik comes up with the craziest, stupidest ideas, and they're hilarious. Like they did a video where they got some of their friends and they got in the back of a moving truck and they put like a kiddie pool back there and they had his assistant just drive around town taking sharp turns really fast.
Oh,
and they were
that'd
just
be
getting
fun.
thrown around in the back of a moving truck in a kiddie pool, like in their swimsuits and everything. I feel like that is something that we would do with students, and I appreciate that kind of energy. And honestly,
I think that would be a great addition on the student team.
any other type of energy that is brought as an intern is unacceptable. That is the standard we
David Dobrik energy only.
take. Exactly. Hashtag that. That's a movement. Okay.
Only.
So we got Beyonce,
Yes.
Amy Poehler, Zendaya, and David Dobrik. So if you are one of those 4 people, or you think you are similar, apply.
Please.
For our internship. But no, on a more serious note, I kind of want to hear from you guys a little bit about what an intern might actually do in your area of ministry. And so whoever wants to kind of take it away, maybe share a little bit about what you were looking for an intern to do or what would be helpful.
Yeah, so the kids team is there's 2 other people on our team, and we need all the help we can get. We run the entire kids ministry, so we're actually gearing up to start our kidsmen again in October, hopefully. So we're getting all of that ready. We're trying to introduce some new aspects of it, which is really cool. But on a daily basis, we prepare curriculum and make sure large group, small group, all of that is ready for Sunday morning, because Sunday's our big day, but we have to prepare for that, and we need help preparing for that, whether it's going and get the rooms ready or just getting the curriculum ready for that. And another part is interacting with the parents too. So the parent piece, sending emails, and just a lot of stuff like that. It's a fun job. It really is. I know that didn't sound super fun, but it's awesome.
No, it's fun. And actually, for those of you who don't know, Matthew Mcveigh, who's on stage on Sundays, but also helps back in kids, he started really as an intern. I know he interned with Kevin a little bit, but then he was also the kids intern for worship stuff. He kind of brought in that worship aspect, and so and he always talks about how fun it is and stuff. So
it's awesome.
That's also a cool aspect.
You just get to hang out with kids. What's better than that?
Hanging out with students, but it's fine. What about you, Lopez?
As a creative, I like to call everyone creative because whoever works with me
That's
is
a word.
creative. Okay,
Come on.
period. But if you're working under me, you'll be working not under me but alongside with me to think about how do we want to shape and form the church and what it looks like aesthetically, and how do we be able to bring in people or non-believers to church. I think that's the big thing. But we'll be going over graphic design, photography, just a lot of things, color theory, just all these big things that plays a huge role in the church that some people might not think it does. And it really does. I mean, we're going to have fun because we'll be making TikToks together.
Come on.
We'll be doing videos on Instagram. We're just going to have a great time. And so you will have Starbucks in the morning. I'm not going to say every morning, but Sunday mornings you will. But I think the big thing is to make sure that how do we bring creative to church, and making sure that people are attracted to not only to the creative side, but believing in God and forming new relationships with God as
Absolutely.
the creative. But that's pretty much me. And
That's good.
Yeah, that's all.
That's a message
That's
right there.
a really great answer.
Yeah, he's pitching people right now. He's like, let's be honest. Kaylee's was good, but like Lopez, you want to be a
Seriously.
creative.
Can I go over again?
You're working alongside of me. Okay. Lopez for president. No, but seriously, I think a lot of people don't understand how much energy goes into the creative branding side of what people see on a Sunday versus how they're interacting every day on social media.
Yes.
And the story that we are telling as a church, that a lot of people just see a post and like, oh, this is color graded well, or this looks cool.
Right.
But for those that don't know, I mean, Lopez puts a lot of work into the story that goes into what we are trying to share through social media, the aesthetic, the vibe, and really just the direction of our online presence. And so that's really kind of all Lopez's avenue. He's kind of come in and transformed that. I used to take pictures, and it's not for me. You know, I got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Please get somebody that's like that can just like kill the game and do way better than me. And Lopez is killing the game. So check out all of our socials. He's killing it, and work with him. Quick question for Lopez. Is there any kind of like base requirements in terms of skills or knowledge of software that is probably necessary for those applying?
Oh, what we would do if you're a graphic designer, we think you should have the Adobe Creative Suite. We
Absolutely.
should have that. If you're a photographer, you should have a camera. But as far as your skill level and abilities, that's totally fine. We want you here. We will teach you along the way. We'll show you how to move inside and outside of the camera. We'll teach you Illustrator. We'll teach you Photoshop. But just coming with an open mind, willing to learn. I think that's the big thing. So, yeah.
Sweet.
That's all.
Awesome. Jackie, production.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So I was a production intern, and a lot of what production does is kind of like behind the scenes, kind of keeping things distraction free. So anything to do with a Sunday morning, things that you don't think about because they're done well.
Right.
So, you don't think about necessarily how the lights are run because they're run well and they're a distraction-free environment. So stuff like lighting, audio, video, technical directing. I mean, I had a lot of experience doing a lot of different roles in production, which was great. So Sunday mornings will vary in terms of like what role you do each week, which was awesome. Throughout the week, stuff like stage design, setup, some IT stuff like some website and app stuff. It's kind of not all over the place because it's one cohesive thing under production, but it is different every day, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. There's a lot of different stuff under production that Ryan directs, and it's huge. So there's lots of different avenues, whether that's, again, through audio, video, lighting, anything like that. There's lots of different avenues to explore, and I think that's what helped me grow the most, was that I had so many different avenues to kind of learn about.
I think it's so important. I think a lot of people forget, and I think you hit this right on the head, a lot of people forget that there's a full production team, production ministry, because the goal of your team is to make things like so seamless and efficient as possible that you go unnoticed.
Yes.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
And like, so everything on a Sunday to like preparing all week for that, there's so much that goes into that. Plus production needs potentially, like, I mean, like Kaylee said, we're getting ready to reopen student stuff and kids stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a need. I just feel like a lot of people don't actually see the full picture of what goes on with production, but it is super encompassing. And honestly, nothing against our ministry departments, but it's probably one of the most like important parts of our church.
It is.
Because it keeps everything running smoothly.
And production is used for everything, like you
Exactly.
said, kids, students, Sunday mornings, even now. I mean, we're using production.
We
right
have production
now.
on right now.
Exactly. So I mean, to run anything, especially through live streaming and stuff with COVID, I mean, production has done tons for us. So it's been great to work with Ryan on that.
Absolutely. And I'll wrap things up on this kind of part with students, because we are also looking for a student intern. And student ministry is the best ministry, period, across the board. And that's why you should intern for us. So, no, but seriously, when COVID hit, things got really weird. And I mean, we'd all agree with that. Kids ministry kind of shut down and moved to an online presence. Creative even changed. Production obviously changed. And student ministry really changed. And I don't think there's any period in life that's really more like transitionary or tumultuous at that point than middle school and high school years. I mean, we remember how crazy that was. Now throw in being in the middle of a global pandemic and talk about identity issues and spirituality issues and just confidence issues. And so we get to come alongside students and get to love on them, get to point them to Jesus. And we, for the most part, have been on online presence, but we are starting to move back into what does it look like to physically gather for large groups, for small groups. And so if you intern for the student ministry, you'll have things like helping plan services, figuring out games. We love games in student ministry. That is our bread and butter. If you want to swallow a goldfish or drink a McDonald's Happy Meal that's blended up, like, you're a perfect advocate for us. Like, be an intern for students. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. Kids ministry would love to have you. I'm kidding. but seriously, like, our interns in the past have designed entire services. We've taken them to our passion camp over the summer, which you don't get to go on because it got canceled. You can thank COVID for that. But our student interns have spoken for us. They've hosted. They've given messages. And so if any of that sounds interesting, if you have a burden for a smelly 6th grader or an 11th grader who's having life problems and trying to figure out what college they want to go to, come intern for us. It's tons of fun. But seriously, you can't go wrong with any of our areas. There's other areas that you can also actually pick on the application online. Admin events is an area, and it's a little bit vague on there just because we live in a really really vague time. And so if you have any questions about our areas, please feel free to email info@514church.com, and we'll get back to you with some answers. Somebody will be in contact, whether it's me, somebody more specific. But one last question, and this is kind of where the pitch comes, okay? This is where it's important, because people listening might be like, this sounds interesting, but I'm not fully sold yet, right? I need you guys to give your best pitch as to why somebody should intern.
In general, or
Why do you think the people listening right now
I'll start.
should intern? Oh, he's ready.
I think being an intern is life-changing for you as a creative, because you have the opportunity to change someone else's life. Not only through photography and design, but you have the opportunity to reach people in places that you wouldn't necessarily think you would reach them. And so being an intern at 514, it's great because you're able to have that opportunity to not to reach, but to bless people who come through those doors with your talents that God has given you. So
I think Lopez said it all. I don't think we need to say anything.
But I think that's the big thing. I think you have to come in, like I said earlier, you have to come in with an open mind and willing to learn, and willing to be able to learn from different types of people who come from a number of different backgrounds. And once you have that open heart and that open mind, then you're able to not only be transformed, but to able to transform someone else's life. So become creative with me.
I threw my shoes at you.
Look at your little footy socks.
I like those, actually.
Yeah, I had to throw my shoes at you. I was just sorry.
I mean, he
it
said it.
Really,
Totally fine.
Do you want an opportunity to change someone's life? Throw the shoe. That's good. I'm sold. I'm applying. So
Okay.
Me
You
too.
should.
Mine is, it's not necessarily a pitch. I mean, yeah, it is. Whatever.
I mean, it is.
What I want to say is, I mean, Lopez said it perfectly and way better than I'm going to say it, but it's such a learning experience, and you'll learn way more than you ever realize. Even just being around other people and being around even this group and the rest of the staff, it changes everything. And maybe you might even get into something that you didn't think you were going to. Maybe you're like, oh, I want to be a kids intern, but you might try something different and try creative. Maybe you say, well, I'm not really creative, and I think that you should do something that you don't necessarily think that you might not be great at, because you'll learn so much. And I've interned before, and it really does help. I didn't intern at 514, but I interned at other places, and it helps you decide what you want to do and who you want to be. And like Lopez said, you're helping so many people. You're going to bless so many people, and it's a church, so it's awesome. And it's us. It's awesome.
we are pretty great.
Yeah. Kind of like Kaylee said, too. I mean, I came in, I was going to school for ministry, so I had a lot of like the theology down, stuff like that, but being able to be in a practical setting, an actual church setting, and working with staff who are all great. I mean, they're so fun to work with. And being able to see like the practical behind the scenes parts of ministry was huge for me, and huge in shaping how I viewed ministry, what I wanted to do within ministry, stuff like that. And that kind of opened my heart to what it really means to do intentional community, intentional service within each of our departments. And so I think the biggest thing for me about like why you should be an intern is because you can read all the books that you want to on leading and about serving, but until you're in there practically and until you're practically doing ministry, it makes a whole world of difference.
You can have a shoe too.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, they all did such a great job, and if you're still not convinced, so the internship is like mine and Carmen's baby, right? So like we kind of came in, and we had this burden for helping college-aged kids or recent grads get their feet wet with ministry, and it kind of like started as this burden. It came into like this beautiful thing of not just giving people an opportunity to grow in ministry, but to grow personally. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I actually don't even know if I want to work vocationally in ministry, I want to kind of challenge you, because whether or not you work in vocational ministry, whatever workplace you're going to go into one day is going to be your ministry field. You are going to be a missionary in any place leading people to Jesus. And so what we are doing here isn't just we're not just giving you the tools necessary to lead a kids ministry or to design social media or to make sure that the lighting production is beautiful and seamless or work with students. Like, well, we're actually giving you the tools to grow professionally, to grow personally, to learn more about yourself so you can lead other people to Christ in whatever setting you're going into. So that's kind of like my heart in this. And so like, it's not just getting your hands wet in ministry and learning what it looks like to actually serve the local body in a very different way, but it's also figuring out how God made you. How did God bless you? What kind of talents did he give you? What are your quirks? How do you relate to people? But then also, like, what is God's direct path in your life? And what are some steps you can take vocationally? What are some tools you can take from what we have to offer into wherever it is you're going to go? And so I think the experience that you can get from interning at our church is more than just a specific ministry field. And it's actually so much more holistic into being actually who God made you to be and how you can maximize your effect on God's kingdom. So I believe you should intern. We all do. We want you to come intern with us.
Intern, do
Please
it.
intern.
Please sign up.
We used to have badges for the first interns that said get.
We
it said
did.
get
It was
interned.
great.
Oh.
We said get interned. It was hilarious. It was
I like
great.
that. I like that.
But seriously, if you are curious about interning, if you are ready to apply, there's more information on our application online, www.514church.com/intern. There's more information there. You can email info@514church.com. We'll get back to you. And we hope to see you apply. If you are on the fence, just do it.
Yeah.
Do
Just
it.
do it.
Do it. Take a chance. If you're afraid, like, man, that means I might lose 2 months of something else in your life. Well, that actually might be 2 months or 3 months in your life where you gain something massive. And you learn a lot more about yourself. And I promise you that God is going to work in you and he's going to work through you in our church. And we are so excited. So please, please, please apply to be an intern with us. And
Amen.
we'll be
Wow.
reaching out. So
Good.
Intern.
Intern.
Bye.
we'll see you guys.